The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the host of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Karsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Hu.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast where we cover Cedar Fair, Cedar Point, and everything to do with fun. And if you cannot tell by the way I'm sounding right now, I am sick as hell. And oh my God.
If only we can do this live right now.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying,
I'm a mess.
Like, Kyle is definitely a trooper, everyone. Like, for real. Like, he gets a star for today because he does.
A little behind the scenes before we started recording, he goes, I'm going to muster up all my strength for the intro. And then as soon as he started talking for the intro, me and Carson both started dying.
Yeah,
no disrespect, buddy.
No, I know.
Yeah, he just popped some NyQuil, so if we don't hear from Kyle for the rest of the night, we'll know what's going on.
Yeah, I know I sound funny, and it's an audio podcast, so I'm not going to talk a whole lot tonight. I'm gonna be in and out, and then just listen to what you guys have to say, and anything I miss, I'll listen to it in the car tomorrow and be surprised.
There you go.
I think you need to take the day off tomorrow, bud.
Yeah, right.
I cannot. That is not possible. This is a very busy time for me.
Wah, wah, wah. Speaking of a busy time, why don't we just roll right into that? And,
let's just get this over with.
and Cedar Point has definitely been extremely busy with Top Thrill 2. Evan and I were at the park last week, and holy crap, have they been moving very quickly. Like, I know Tony just released a video yesterday talking a little bit more about the construction that's going on with Top Thrill 2, and you can just see, oh my gosh, like it looks like he posted a picture on Instagram, or I'm sorry, on Twitter or on X or whatever you want to call it.
And Twitter.
Sorry. Yeah, right. That's banned. So he released a photo of the spike tower that's currently obviously being built, and the track, I can happily say, is almost, it looks like very, very close to 90 degrees, like straight up. Like, I can't wait to just see oh my gosh, we're just looking at it in the sky, and just like using your imagination and being like, that's probably around, I don't know, 200-ish feet or so.
It's only half the size it's going to be.
It's only half
just
the freaking
crazy
size. Half the size. These people are literally keyboard warriors that are watching all these POVs, and they're like, I'm not really super excited about this ride. Like, I think it needs to go faster. It needs to go around in circles more. Like, give the ride a chance. You need to ride it first before any of that. Like, you can't, because honestly, I'm going to be real straight. When I saw Steel Vengeance's POV, I was like super excited. I knew all the stats, knew everything, but I saw it and I'm like, that could be like maybe a top 10 coaster for me, maybe a top 5. Never did I ever think that it was going to take my top spot when it first came out. Like, absolutely not. Like, I know it was like, oh, he's a Cedar Point fanboy, that's why it's like it's top. Like, no, I've ridden a bunch of coasters. Evan, you've also ridden a bunch of coasters, but like, you have to ride the ride first to, like, just like for Wild Mouse, everyone's like, Wild Mouse, and then you ride it and you're like, oh wow, this is actually kind of fun. I like the spinning and the goofy, and it's just a fun, goofy ride, and you just have to ride it to experience it. Sorry, I just had to jump on my little soapbox here for just a minute, because all the comments I see is just like, it could have been higher, it could have been 40 feet higher. It's like, Evan, you're a an engineer. Like, I don't, like, we've talked about it previous on the show. I don't think even if they wanted to, they would have had to spend way much more than what they wanted to, and then they would probably have to redo the original top hat. They would have to redo like pretty much all the structure and things like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you want to continue to add to it.
Yeah, I mean, just I want to back up a little bit and kind of join in on your soapbox, but there's no pleasing this community. No matter. So they did what they did, and we're happy. And there's a certain section of people that are happy, and there's a certain section of people that are pissed off. And if they did something different, those roles would be reversed. There's always pissed off people for no good reason, and they just live miserable lives and just like to complain about stupid things. Okay. Yeah. There's my soapbox. Also, wait, I'm not done. Get a life. There's things outside of the amusement park world.
Isn't there like a word or a slogan? I think you always say, like when someone's like really being a keyboard warrior. If you can't remember it, I
can't remember it.
You literally go, you type it out, and you're like, would you just go outside and touch some grass?
Oh, yeah, touch grass. Well, at Cedar Point, they're just touching pavement and steel.
Yeah, just touch some grass, touch some sand. I don't know.
Just breathe some fresh air. Yeah. That not Cedar Point, Lake Erie Railroad charcoal there. You don't need to breathe in the lake air. Just enjoy life.
Breathe. It'll be okay.
Not Cedar everything Point's is about the stupid roller coaster Cedar Point is building. It'll be okay.
18 coasters.
I don't know why we complain about people on here, because I feel like the majority of our listeners are people that agree with us. So yeah, I don't think we're really speaking to anybody here, but it is what it is.
I guess it's just us voicing, I mean, it's everything that we see though. Like everything that when we post pictures on on CP Rundown on Facebook, it's like they could have went higher. Like it's like, okay,
well, not really.
Like, they would have had to probably do a whole lot more. Look, and who knows, if they went higher, maybe we would have to say bye-bye to Iron Dragon. Who knows? We don't know.
Well, I don't care about Iron Dragon. I care about Dragster. Or Top Tool 2, whatever.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, people are the worst. I don't know. We're never going to please everybody. Anyways, so
let's talk more about
getting more into the construction updates. So as Carson kind of mentioned, it's maybe halfway built-ish, something around there. So we'll just say it's halfway built, and oh my god, it already towers over everything. The spike, I mean.
Yeah.
The tower, the paint is almost done with the track, and then the supports are, I would say, like maybe all in all, like maybe halfway there.
I would say so. Yeah, I think it looks like, and this is on the original top hat. It almost looks like they're like pretty much painting the front half of the supports,
visible to the front of the park first,
and then looks like they're saving the back half, because you literally see like kind of the front and everything. You're like, oh wow, everything's like super gray, and then you like look like towards the back, or you're behind it, and you're like, oh wow, it's really yellow.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to understand why they're doing what they're doing, but
they also might not be able to get to that area very easily during the season, because everything's kind of like structured to being in front of the tower. So maybe once they close, they'll flip it around. And I honestly think they'll be able to get that, as long as we have like really good weather and warm weather in November. I think they could probably get that done before, at least painted before Christmas, and if not, they probably could get it finished up real quick in the spring.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? We might show up tomorrow and be like, "Oh, it's done.
It's all great. Look at that."
Yeah,
I mean, the weather has been, besides it being a little chilly, I mean, it's been nice. I mean, unfortunately, the last weekend was a little rained out, but then obviously, we've got this weekend, and this weekend looks like it's really going to rain, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I'm going to get to the park this weekend with this weather.
That's all. That's the fall weather in Ohio. Remember
when it was like a week ago?
That's Ohio. Thank God it's not snowing yet. But
no kidding.
I mean, we have gone to a closing day where we literally, everything was closing around us, and there's snowflakes flying in the sky, and we're like,
2020.
And that was when Top Thrill Dragster was still open, and we were like, is it going to launch? Are we going to open? They're like, no, we're done. It's so
they didn't even have a crew there that day.
They had a crew. I think they were like I think they were closing it down and they were like moving trash
Moving all the
cans.
trash cans.
Yeah.
They're like, we're
yeah,
not
so
opening,
like,
but
yeah, like fair enough. It's like 30 degrees outside and it's snowing.
Why
But
did I
Corkscrew's
spend-
open and Corkscrew had like a full queue all the way down the midway, which was great.
why did I spend a 9-hour day in the park that day? Anyways,
Yeah.
we're off topic. Anyways, so they started with moving back to Top Thrill 2. They started with the supports and the drive tires for the transfer track. That's actually, I think, all done. It's just missing the actual track.
Yep.
Let's see.
Unless I placed it, but yeah. But that was
And then they
video.
as Tony mentioned in his video, the pit stop or whatever? I can't remember.
I can never remember it.
It's the Top Thrill 2 specific version of the point cast from years ago.
Which I like it. I'm glad they
that.
they came out they came back out with it, like that's that's really cool.
So as he mentioned in that, they're starting to grout around the outside of the new supports or the new footers, I'm sorry, which basically just means, okay, we're happy with where they're at. We're going to solidify them in place, add a little extra oomph to them, and
pretty much it just beefs them up on the very bottom.
Yeah, and basically that means that construction is progressing beautifully. They haven't had any setbacks with major things.
Because I would assume before you grout or something, like if you need to like move something around or whatever, you can, you'll have the option of possibly doing that. But then it's like pretty permanent. Obviously they can remove it if they need. If they have a problem.
Cheap.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Because I mean, it's concrete and whatever else they awning is to that structure and everything. So, which is pretty cool.
I was going to mention too. Well, I guess Tony did kind of mention this in the video, and he posted a picture of it this week. But when I was at the park on Saturday while riding Rougarou, don't take your phones out. I could see that they had 2 pieces of track ready to go, and I think 2 or 3 supports pieces sitting there ready to go.
Nice.
So that's probably what we saw put on this week in the video and the picture. So yeah.
I'm curious because like if it is around, obviously it's around 200 feet or so. I'm curious to how much more the current crane setup is going to be able to. I wonder if they're going to extend it or if they're going to have to get another crane or another arm or.
Are we just going to show up one of these weekends and the crane's just going to be gone because it's just not big enough anymore and they have to bring in a different one?
Right. But then the thing is are they going to have to wait until after the season's over
to get a real big boy in
to finish the construction, because that crane might just take up too much of the midway, and then you might have to close down that midway or have it be really, really limited to where you'd be walking,
Yeah, and that's already a horrible bottleneck. Yeah. I am so excited after 2 years to have that full midway back next year.
Yeah, that was one
width of the
nice.
Midway, and with by looking at the concept art, a nice new gift shop. And honestly, like, the more I'm thinking about it, the happier I am that the bleachers are going to be gone. Allegedly.
Well, right. It's like are the bleachers going to be gone? Or maybe. I mean, obviously,
they're not in the concept art,
right? But maybe they'll just be like, you know what? We're going to keep that freestyle stand and we're going to keep the bleachers there. I mean, I don't know.
Please
honestly
move the freestyle stand.
I think the freestyle stand would work lovely just by itself or
on the side of the new souvenir building.
Yes.
Just like they did with Farmhouse.
Yes. Have it be have it like 3 or 4 machines and obviously have a person there, staff there. Just on the side, and then boom, there you go. You know, like, and then you've got the
side
whole
of the
entire
midway of the new gift shop. That would be so much nicer.
Yeah.
But,
I can't wait. I'm trying to think of what else.
I think that's about it. I don't think they've really done more paint on the station or anything.
No, I don't. I haven't really noticed anything there. They haven't added that last support. Or what station support,
the new piece of the station,
I haven't even seen anything like on site or anything. So
it's just so crazy standing like next to Power Tower on the Midway, looking up at this thing.
Looking up, it's crazy looking like being on Millennium, like walking by Millennium Force and looking over by Rougarou, and you just see this giant like whoa.
You could see it from everywhere, and it's,
I was saying, and you can also. I was gonna say I've been taking pictures on off the causeway. You can see it when you're driving into the park. You can literally see the rising of it, which is really cool. So
yeah,
I did know that. I remembered that Tony did say that they're going to be installing a long ladder all the way up to the very top. It doesn't sound like it's going to have an elevator or anything. So that long ladder, that's going to be long. That's going to be that's going to be, because I mean,
envy whoever's got to climb up that.
Right. And I mean, obviously, you got to make sure you check the welds, check just check everything. And that's what they do daily.
And he said, to check out or to change the light bulb in the airplane beacon thing at the top.
Yeah, because it's 420 feet. So I mean, that makes sense.
That's gonna be a fun job for somebody.
Yeah. I'm just curious on how much, like, when it gets windy and stuff, and when the train goes back and forth or whatever. I'm curious how much sway that's gonna have.
I feel like not that much. It seems really beefy.
It's very beefy. Yeah. You're gonna have to, it'd be really cool to watch the water, like on the Iron Dragon, and watch and see like the water, see. I'm sure it'll vibrate off, but it's not gonna swish back and forth or anything. But
I was gonna say too that, like, being that I'm not like little kid twitchy enthusiast anymore, I don't get just like simply awestruck from a ride anymore when I see it. Even going to, say, Hershey Park for this year and seeing Wildcats Revenge for the first time. 10-year-old me, I would have like crap myself just seeing that. Yeah. Where Top Thrill, seeing it, and again, it's only half the size it's going to be ish. I just stand there and I look like a kid in a candy store. I'm just like mouth wide open, just staring up at the thing, like, oh my God. Like the amount that this is the most the skyline at that park is going to change probably for the rest of our lifetimes. Like,
maybe, I don't know. I mean,
crazy change.
You never know. There could be a 500-footer down the road,
but like this is so front and center.
But
right in the middle of the park.
And and we've actually got two spike towers. Like, we've got, obviously, the top hat, and then we've got another the same size, which is
giant ones. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, Valraven obviously changed the skyline and stuff, but it's not in the center of the park, where this is right in the center of the park.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I honestly, I can't wait to ride it. I can't wait to. I think in one of Tony's, I think it was one of his videos, I think he was talking about possibly do a live Q&A. So whoever is listening, make sure you watch out on Cedar Point social medias.
Well, he did a little Q&A after the pit stop or whatever video.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it was just on Twitter or X. It was just a little Simic questions, and he answered a few of them.
Okay. I think he said he was going to live stream it, though. I could be super wrong. But
I don't remember him.
Make sure everybody just.
If he
speaking does, of, I was going to say, speaking of that tower construction, we do actually have a group photo. I'm sad to say this, but we do have a closing day group photo.
Three more weekends. Like,
sad. Just yesterday we were thinking about where we were going to do our opening day photo, and so the closing day photo, it's going to be to the very, very left of coasters. It'll be in that deadish space. It'll be on the right hand side of the stage area. You can't miss it if you're looking.
Just go between coasters and the main stage. Yep. You'll find us.
That's where we're going to have that. So look for the big group. Obviously, we're going to continue to advertise it, and I'll get a picture up, and I will get a group.
You're going to want to get that picture tomorrow because you ain't going to the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because it'll definitely. Well, as I say, it's going to rain, but then also it could be busy too. But yeah. So we're going to do that. We're going to do it there, and I think it'd be really cool. And then also maybe if nothing crazy changes, like next year, where we're going to take the photo at, we're going to probably do the opening day photo there, maybe, from like before and after or something,
that's kind of what
that could be a good spot.
We kind of did something similar ish this year with the boardwalk.
Yeah.
I know our closing day photo last year was in front of the Ferris wheel with the Grand Pavilion in the background. And then this year we did the by the boardwalk sign.
Yeah, I think it's cool instead of just being like, let's do it in front of, I don't know, Mine Ride, and I mean sometimes we do, but it just depends.
Yeah, when it's like a really dead year and there's nothing, it's like, oh, what ride had an anniversary this year?
Next year, or no, in year 2026, we're doing a group photo in front of Happy Friar.
Yep, mark your calendars.
They're like, which one is that one? We'll figure it out. If you know Cedar Point, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So they'll be like, oh, yeah, no, Happy Friar. Yeah, sounds great, So, but yeah, so that was joking, and maybe in 26 we will. Who knows? But yeah, so transitioning just a little bit here. From that Top Thrill Talk, because I think we pretty much hit everything on the head.
Yeah, we hit it all.
We're going to see it tomorrow. I'm going to update the Facebook page with a bunch of photos and try to get an updated picture of the skyline if it's not pouring down rain. Which I'll be really sad if it's doing it.
Tomorrow
whatever.
Should be all right. Tomorrow's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold you to it. The rest
of the weekend, not so much.
Ohio weather. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about HalloWeekends. I mean, that's been going for what,
almost a month now.
Yeah, this will be the fourth weekend, right?
I think. I don't know.
Sorry, weekends jarbled together, but something like that. Anyway, it's well in the mid-season of HalloWeekends, and I was able to visit a bunch of houses this past weekend with Justin and Hannah and a bunch of other friends that we got to check out. Like, we got to do midnight, and we got to do
which is still so good.
Yes, yeah, it has not lost its goodness. Like, but anyway, Evan, you want to do like a mid-season, like
yeah, I haven't been through the houses as much this year as I'd like, but I think my rankings probably haven't changed from the beginning of the year, what I expected. And it's no disrespect to anybody. It's just like, it's more like the houses, I'm sick of some of their themes. Like, I'd say I'd put Freak Show at the bottom just because it's like, Freak Show,
Yeah.
I'd love for them to do
it's
something
just
different.
tired. It's tired. It's a tired theme.
Just like Hexed was. Sorry, Kyle. Just like Hexed was. And I hate to say it because I worked in it, but I'm kind of getting that way with the Erie Estate too. But so not really putting much thought into it. I would say from bottom to top, I would say Freak Show is my least favorite. Slaughterhouse, Erie Estate, Bloodbath, and then Midnight. And you notice that the two new ones are at the top.
Yeah.
Just saying, Cedar Point.
Yeah. I mean, there's just a lot more detail in the houses, and it seems to be not that the scare actors or the screamsters are in a script per se, but it seems a little bit scripty.
Yeah, Midnight for sure.
Like Midnight is like, oh, Mr. Midnight's coming, and then like I'll visit the house like the next week, and the same person I'll see, and be like, Mr. Midnight's expecting.
Kind of has Universal vibes to it, where
but it's not pre-recorded like Universals are.
Yeah,
and then but it also sets up for some pretty good scares too, because there's others in the house that they do
their own thing.
Yeah, they don't have like a like a scripted thing where they need to kind of like say something, And
you have GP walking through there looking at this dude talking about Mr. Midnight, like, who the hell's Mr. Midnight?
Right.
And then some other actor comes out of nowhere and scares him.
I do have to say the scaremonies, since it's been getting darker earlier and things like that, like they've been I've been checking them out on Saturdays or so, and they've been on fire. They've been pretty.
Well, there is fire.
There is a lot of fire, yeah, and the Mr. Midnight character definitely.
I love his whole like monologue thing during the opening ceremonies, and it's like, I don't know, it gets you excited, and then
gets you pumped up, and then the screamsters come running out and getting in your face, and
I like watching them even just on the stage, just kind of slowly emerging. And if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. I do think the little dance number, it's a little weird. Maybe it goes on a little long, but I get it. I get it. But it's weird. We could cut that down
are like,
a few seconds.
Is this not a scary show? What's going on? And then it just like, turns dark, and
Yeah.
No, it's
It's a
definitely
little strange, but it's all right.
Yeah. I was gonna say ranking as well. I would probably say this pretty much the same thing for me. Like obviously Midnight's number 1 for me, and Bloodbath is gonna be 2, and then I'd probably say I'll just do a top 3. I was gonna say Erie Estate is probably gonna be 3 for me.
Yeah, we're the same.
They've been pretty spot on and pretty
Yeah.
solid throughout. Like there's always this one guy, he's an older guy or whatever, and he always at the in the Erie Estate in the house or whatever, it's always like, he always comes like running in or whatever, and he's like kind of like out of breath, but like I believe that's like his character that he's trying to portray. He goes,
right at the front of the house.
yeah, he's like, be careful. He's like, keep on coming. Yep, keep on coming. He's like, but we've been experiencing some really paranormal activity going on here. But don't be alarmed, folks. But just keep on moving. And I'm like, he says it like word for word.
He's got to say that like 600 times a night.
He's so good at it though. Like it doesn't scare me, but it's just the attention to detail, and I really like that. So
yeah, being a little extra, and that's okay. That's good.
Yeah.
I like
for
it
sure.
And I'm not. We don't really usually rank the scare zones, but I will say that thank God they finally got Blood on the Bayou right.
Yeah,
even though it's an impossibly long walk, but
it is a long walk. But it is. I mean, there's a lot of people in there. It seems like this year, and also I was going to say Cornstalkers is hitting like pretty well. Like there's a lot of the corn seems to be falling
Cutthroat Cove
over a little bit, but yes, Cutthroat Cove was good when we walked through it. And then, Cornstalkers, like I've done that a bunch this year, and I think that's been really, hitting a home run for that for sure. Because I mean, you can't really screw that up, right? I mean, actually, no, I should take that back. They did mess it up when it was like, what was it, the Werewolf Canyon or something? Like where they.
I never went through that. I was too young.
That was interesting. I don't know if Kyle remembers it, but I was gonna say the Werewolf Canyon. They had like fake Christmas trees or fake like evergreen trees in there. Now, granted, if anybody doesn't know where Cornstalkers is, it's in Cedar, or no, it's in what is it?
I'm gonna let you figure this out.
Yeah, you're gonna have to answer it.
Thunder Canyon.
Thank you. Sorry, it'd be like a 4-hour podcast because I won't remember it. Thunder Canyon, yeah. So Thunder Canyon, and that's obviously the water ride during the summer and stuff, the big raft ride that you sit around in a circle and everything. But yeah, so they had that, and they had that all tricked out with like a bunch of like fake bushes and like fake evergreen trees, but they didn't have lights on them and they didn't have anything on them, so they look like Christmas trees but like not decorated. I don't know, it wasn't very good. And then they came up with this whole like corn concept with the corn stalks that hang around, and they do like a little maze, and they got fog and lights and music and all kinds of stuff, and it's pretty dark throughout the whole thing. And like I said, like I think it would be really hard to mess it up with the corn, but they definitely this year especially seem to have a lot of energy and a lot of pep in their step. So
I was gonna say, well, that, and I was gonna also add on to the Blood in the Bayou. Although they got it right this year, finally, can we move it back to its original spot next year, please? And thank you.
I mean,
I really liked Blood on the Bayou where it was before.
I was gonna say, that was nice going through there and being kind of like in a jungle-y kind of feel to it, with the trees and the overhang and stuff. I mean, they still have a lot of the stuff over there. Like when you ride Iron Dragon and you look down,
you look down and see like buildings, like
there's
houses
still
and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So maybe
that was. Unless there's really trying to keep the scare zones to the back of the park.
Or maybe Blood in the Bayou will get retired as well. And then maybe they'll make a new like trail, but it'll be like new named and new themed and whatever when Top Thrill opens up. You never know.
I just don't like that long walk. I like Blood in the Bayou. I just don't like the long walk. And I'd rather them use that spot for a coaster. But I don't want to sound like the idiots on the internet and just sound like I'm complaining about everything.
It could be a coaster. It could be a big old midway. They could put a bunch of flat rides. They can put all kinds of stuff over there.
They could connect the area by Millennium over to the area by Magnum.
Oh,
please.
Gosh. Well, they would have to build a bridge, because let's not go away from the boat ride, because I like the boat.
Whatever.
Snake River Expedition. That's my favorite. At least it's the boat ride. It's not like paddle wheel excursion, but hey, you know what? I can't remember his name. He got what was the character? Oh man, his name was Dan. Oh wow.
I get this think of SpongeBob, and that's it.
His name was Hey, I'm back, bitches. His name was Trapper Dan.
There it is.
Kyle from the dead.
Wow, I literally woke Kyle up from his NyQuil, and he's like, Trapper Dan.
Jesus.
Yes. So Trapper Dan, like, he got out of there, and it was kind of weird this year with the whole like selling of the real estate and stuff and whatever.
It seemed very thrown together because they were like, "Oh crap!"
I think they should have not
this year.
I think they should have not even did that and like tried to sell the land. What they should have done is they literally should have just had the animatronics that were there and just make the stupid funny jokes and then be kind of done with it. Not we're trying to sell you a land, and we, maybe they'll come back out with that again, and you know what?
Or
sure
they can get rid of it. Anyways,
no.
Oh man. I think I this is a weird episode. Kyle needs to go to bed. I got nothing else.
Well, I do want to say really quick, I'm happy to announce that I get to see the drum roll, please. I got, and there you go. Right. I got to see, or I got invited. I put in my application, and I got invited by IAAPA to attend IAAPA this year in 2023. So what's nice about that is I get to see, hopefully, fingers crossed and everything works right and whatever. And it's probably because I'm saying this, it's not going to happen. But fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything's crossed. Hopefully I'll be able to see the unveiling of Top Thrill 2's coaster train.
That would be awesome.
Hopefully it'll be on display. If not, I'm going to try my hardest to get a bunch of interviews ish, I guess. Maybe. I don't know if a lot of people are going to want to talk to me. And if not, my mind's a really good sponge. So I could literally come back and probably have a 3-hour podcast talking anything and everything. Like, I'm so excited. I've always wanted to do this. It's always been like kind of like a dream of mine just to check out IAAPA, because I'm a big convention junkie as it is, like especially like in the wintertime when there's nothing to do here in lovely Cleveland, Ohio. And they have like the Home and Garden show, and it gets you kind of fired up for spring, or they'll have like the car show and stuff. I like conventions. And so I've always wanted to go to IAAPA, and it's really right up my alley just because it's about amusement parks. And it's not just about like, that it's like about like, communicating with others, and hopefully, I could talk a little bit about our podcast to other people and kind of network and everything. So it's not just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to that and I can't wait to ride this ride and this ride and everything else and and whatever, like it's not like that. It's, I'm just excited to like meet the peers that make these coasters and make these rides happen and be able to see.
What, you're not going to butt into like actual real business conversations, and you're not going to push real media members out of the way to get your pictures? Totally not calling anybody out or anything, but
I mean, I would love to go sneak in underneath like the drape or something and be like, oh my gosh, B&M's 2027, like they're a 700-foot coaster. Yeah. No, I'm super excited and super blessed to be able to partake in it. Evan, I'm really bummed that you're not able to get off of work to join me.
When you're down there, yell at the organizers to do it on a weekend sometime.
Fair. Yeah. But like, can you do this? Can you do this on a weekend? I've never done it before, but can you do this on a weekend? So everybody.
To be fair, most of these super dorky coaster people don't work, so
there you go.
Being on a weekend, it's got to be during the week so that they don't cut into the amusement park time.
Right.
These Twitchers.
Right. So shout out to IAAPA, and I will definitely be having a lot of content coming here. I think it's November 13th. And
something like that.
And it runs wild after that and stuff. So I will.
I think it starts the 15th of November. It's the Wednesday of the middle of November week.
So you're definitely going to want to stay tuned to the CP Rundown Facebook page. and
the podcast week following,
and the podcast for sure. Hopefully I'll be able to get some people that want to talk to me about it. And like I said, if not, then, or if I get too bashful, because, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I get nervous. I get a little shy. So, but yeah, so I'll go in with some questions. And if anybody has any questions or wants me to meet anybody at any of these booths or anything, feel free to email us, cprundown@gmail.com.
Can you ask the Imperial why it's not 500 feet?
I will obviously not just go in blindly and literally like open up the email for the first time and be like,
if you ask stupid questions, we're not answering them. We're not having them asked.
Yeah,
please be thoughtful.
Please. No, yeah. But I mean, if you have like a dying question or, whatever, I can see if I can reach out to someone, or if you just want to know what the latest and greatest skee ball machine is or something, I can check that out too and see what's going on with that. So, but other than that, I think that probably wraps up our epised of Kyle. I think we're going to probably sponsor this episode of NyQuil.com.
Yeah, let me tell you that it is doing its job, because I am so tired. I know
he's about to hit the end button before we're done.
I know I was
we gotta cut it short.
I was talking to you guys before, but I've just been go for like 3 weeks now, and I think this is my body's way of telling me to take a break.
Too much horror nights.
Yeah,
horror nights.
I'm probably gonna have to take a break from HHN until like Sunday. Not super happy about that. I know.
You're taking a break tonight too.
I know. I thought about going tonight, and then I was sick, so didn't make that happen. But
hopefully you got somebody that's going to run to Costco and get you a month's supply of, or no, I should say a 3-year supply of cold medicine. So
I know. I need some of that. All right. Well, that's going to wrap things up from us. I'm still very sick, so that's all I got. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, hopefully Kyle's better next week, and we will have, of course, more Top Thrill 2 updates. Thanks for listening. See y'all next week.
And I think I've got probably like 30 seconds to finish us off since Kyle didn't talk a whole lot. So make sure you share this podcast with everybody and all of your friends. And we love you guys. Take it away, Justin.
Thank you for listening to the Rundown on Fun. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Cedar Fair. As always, be kind to your ride operators, and we will see you on the Midway. Good night.